What is going on, folks? I am Goat, and welcome back to a Warframe Special covering DevStream 166. Christ, every time I think that they have released, like, enough stuff, right, then more comes. So, I want to just show you really quick, just so nobody thinks I'm full of crap here. Like, whenever I do notes on stuff, right, on these dev streams, I just go in a WordPad, something simple like this, right? You know, just shows all the crap. And this is what I'm reading from. This is just my list as they go through stuff, and then I just go through the list and I look at it and we just kind of cover it. Now, I could go through the entire fucking dev stream and piece together each little part, but honestly, there's no fucking point. There's a lot of people that do that. I'm just going to read this shit to you as it came across to me and how I'm feeling about it, and we'll just kind of see where we end up. So obviously, technically tomorrow, it's going to be more than that, but it's just after midnight on the 29th right now. Lewis Prey is going to be releasing on the 30th. I have no idea what time, whatever the usual time is. It's either going to be like in the morning or in the afternoon. We're going to get Nightwave back. We're going to get Lewis Prey back. We're going to get the ability to farm fucking Varuna and her weapons, some new arcanes, some new deluxe skins are releasing, all sorts of crap. Let's go over it. So the Lewis Prey missions are going to be 2 survivals, very specific survivals, that are going to be on Lua. Imagine that. Lewis Prey, Lua. So my thought behind this is really simple. I'm going to move this over here so it doesn't look like I'm just looking away and being dismissive as fuck. Okay, cool. So I don't think the way that they showed it and the way that they are playing through it, it's a real bad idea. Okay, I really don't. Actually think it's kind of a cool idea. What this thing is doing. I like the option of 2 scaled missions, one in the 25 to 30 level range of enemies to farm for Varuna parts and weapon parts and arcanes and shit like that, which we'll get into the arcanes, because there's 4 arcanes. There's only one I seem to really give a shit about right now, and one that they really kind of dug into, but there's going to be 2 ways to get it, or get them. But I do like the fact that there's 2 scaled versions of it. That way lower level content players can get to it, because all you have to do is be able to have the War Within completed, and you'll be able to do Lewis Prey, which is cool. That's great. Yeah, but there's also a little bit of a problem. Okay, there's a slight hiccup with their choices in how they're going about this. Okay, at either level of scaling, basically when a Lua Thrax shows up, it's going to drain the life support at a percentage, basically at a ×2 rate of what the normal life support percentage is dropping at until you kill the fucking Thrax. Now, that may sound all well and good with a fucking squad. You may have some OP shit as a solo player, but that could be problematic if you're like me and you just tend to kind of forget about life support until you get the notification. So it just means that, you know, if you're used to that style of play like me, you might want to keep an eye on it, you know, and start trying to time out when these Thrax show up. That way you make sure you got plenty of life support so you got time to kill the fuckers. Aside from that, the missions look very interesting. I'm all right with it. So the new frame, new weapons, and arcanes. There's one specific arcane that I care about, and we'll get into that. There's 3 other ones that are coming as well. We'll see when they get here, because they honestly didn't talk about them very much at all, other than they exist. So Varuna, the werewolf Warframe. I wouldn't really even fucking call her a werewolf frame. She's just a wolf frame. She's got 4 on-the-fly passives, which honestly remind me, they kind of give me this Lavos vibe. You know, like you can change elements with 4 scaling things in the bottom, you know, bottom right hand corner of your screen to, that's your passives now, and your passives give you different functional things. The first thing that caught my fucking eye is the goddamn floating wolf head that goes the fuck around you as soon as you activate a passive. That's really fucking irritating. That, and you know, one of the fucking wolf heads goes up and starts chewing on the other one. That's fucking shit that's gonna bug the fuck out of me. But if she's a good frame, I'll get the fuck over it pretty quick. I'm gonna say this, she looks like something that she's gonna definitely be something to get used to, that's for sure. But if what I'm seeing is correct, as long as they don't nerf the bejesus out of her, she looks like she could be quite broken. Now, I said that about Geyer, I said that about fucking Styanex, And we didn't even have realistic playthrough of Steinix. Steinix just looked cool in their little anime video. But Steinix looked pretty cool. Fucking Geyer looked pretty cool. You know, hell, I thought Protea looked cool. I thought Lavos looked cool. Protea has been good. Lavos, in my opinion, has been good. Geyer has been garbage. Ureli, I just didn't even like the thought of Ureli when she first came out, being stuck with a K drive. I thought that was weird. It is what it is. I mean, either way, she looks like she could be really fucking broken. And the best part is one of her best abilities is her helmet subsume. It's her third ability, her third passive coupled with her third ability. So that's going to be really, really cool. So as long as they don't nerf the bejesus out of her, you're going to get the, you know, the frame as she is. And then you're also going to have the opportunity to subsume her and get basically one of her best abilities. Now, I think her stealth ability probably fits into the second best ability. Because basically, like Avara, if you don't do a certain thing, you remain invisible. Well, with Varuna, as long as you don't attack, you remain invisible. So that sounds really fucking cool. But again, playing is playing, and dicking around with it's dicking around with it, right? She looks interesting as shit. What I don't like, new weapons. She's got two. They said one initially, now there's two. First weapon is a burst sniper rifle. Okay. Second one is a great axe. Both I'm questioning. One, I don't like at all. I don't like the great axe idea at all. And truth be told, the reason is very simple. All of the stances for the big heavy weapons and the axes and the hammers and all that shit, they've all been nerfed to fuck. They got nerfed to fuck like back in 2019 or 2020. So they're just not that good. So I understand that she's primarily a melee-based frame, but what the fuck? She's melee and headshot based, so they give her a sniper rifle and a big fucking axe. And the problem is that unless they give a new stance for an axe, why? Why give her an axe? Why not give her a fucking set of, you know, dual Nakanas? That'd be badass, don't you think? Brand new fucking weapon for somebody who's all about that melee life? Fuck yeah, man. Something new, right? But no. We're gonna give her a big fucking axe that's useless. Unless there's a new stance that comes with it, which I doubt. And then a burst sniper rifle. Now, from the gameplay that they showed, and they usually play fairly unmodded for the most part, it doesn't look like it has much kick, unlike most sniper rifles. So as long as that's the case, a burst sniper rifle isn't a bad idea, because it's basically just like adding multi-shot to a sniper rifle. So I'm okay with it, to a point. But again, I find that the axis is highly problematic. I just... fuck. Now, the arcane that they're releasing, and specifically, I don't even remember what the fucking name of the damn thing is, but the new arcane is meant to scale up health orbs per picked up that are stack limited. It's like basically adding like 1,000 fucking health when it's all said and done. So that's very fucking interesting. A health stack based. I mean, talk about adding 1,000 fucking health to a Warframe that's a squish build. Yeah. Especially if your sole focus is into shield gating. Granted, shield gating is meant to stop lethal damage, you know, so your health doesn't take any hits. But if you have a goof, having a little bit of extra fucking health there plus some damage reduction isn't necessarily a bad idea. So in certain cases, I think this arcane might actually become very fucking handy. So there's that. New cosmetics. I don't necessarily care so much, but going to talk about it nonetheless. The only one that I personally care about as of this point right now is Zaku Deluxe. Looks better than I thought. By far, looks way better than I thought. It actually has some real texture to it. The ripped look with just the skeleton, it's like this metallic skeleton look. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool looking. Looks like somebody broke apart a bunch of statues and glued random ass pieces to Zaku. It actually way better than what the fuck he looks like right now. That's probably one I'm gonna buy. Just because I think Zaku looks absolutely fucking stupid the way he is right now. The Lotus Amaga skin, she looks like a cracked out fucking Egyptian princess. That's the best I got. It's nothing amazing. It's whatever. I mean, if y'all like it, y'all like it. That's cool. The three normal frames that we're going to see getting void shells are Frost, Mag, and Grendel, and they all have their own new personal textures. And then Varuna, of all things, like Steinix, is getting a fucking void shell as well. All are releasing with Lewis Prey. Two unexpecteds that I'm kind of excited about. Curious as well, by the way. New weapons. Tenet Plinks and the Tenet Ferox. Now, these are coming from 2 different locations. Now, they said that their problem is that pole-style weapons that aren't melees, they were having a problem with applying them. I'm assuming probably with the mechanics of a sister. So they're applying the Tenet Ferox to Ergo Glass, just like a Tenet melee. So you'd basically have to go visit Parent Sequence and buy it there with corrupted hollow keys. So I'm down with that. I've got a fuck ton with my main account anyway, so I'm great with that. It'll be an easy pickup for me. The other one, it means that as soon as Lua's Prey is done and I start getting that crap done and I get Varuna picked up, I'm going to immediately go and spawn a sister to get the Plinks. Tenet Plinks. I'm honestly shocked with the fact that they're going with the Plinks as the next Tenet secondary. That's very, very interesting because the Ferox is the primary. The Ferox we'll get into in a second. I'm shocked with the Plinks, but I'm not, because here's why. Out of all of the Tenet secondaries, being 4, about to be 5, but being 4, the Psychron was junk. Okay, the base Psychron is an absolute trash fodder weapon. The base Detron was trash. Right? Like, you fucking go through all that hoopla to fucking get Zanuka to spawn and farm the fucking Detron just to be horribly let down by that motherfucker. And then Baro Katir shows up to where you can just spend ducats and fucking credits and buy the Mara Detron, which was way better than the base Detron. And then when the Sisters of Parvos came out and the Tenet Detron showed up, it was immensely better. Like, it's a fucking exceptionally powerful shotgun pistol. So they increased the function above what it was already being good with the Mara Detron. But if you take just the base Detron compared to the Tenet Detron, it's night and fucking day. It's an insanely powerful pistol. Yeah. So I'm okay with this. And the fact that they added an alt fire to the fucking thing is just stupid. The Tenet Psychron, probably in my top 3. It is my most used secondary on both of my accounts. But it's definitely in my top 3 of most damaging, most deadly fucking weapons, and the base Psychron is trash. So their ability of taking, a base weapon and going with the Tenet or Kuva version and making it way better, and I really go more for the Tenet side of things because the Kuva weapons are really hit or miss. There are some that are just crap, and then there are others that are really good, and so far the Tenet weapons, I haven't found a bad one. They're very personal preference with some of the points, I'll give you that. Like the Tenet Livia, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's very fucking powerful. Tenet Grigori is really good. The Tenet Agendis is really good. The Tenet Exec, although being a heavy blade weapon, you stick Tempo Royale on that motherfucker and game on. It's pretty fucking powerful. Again, personal preference. And then the new ones, Tenet Diplos, very good. The Tenet Spyrex is pretty fucking solid. And then how do you get mad at the primaries? You got the Tenet Archiplasmor, you got the Tenet Tetra. Having a new AoE function to that thing is really fucking cool, although it makes ammo economy a little funky. But the Tenet Archiplasmor, the Tenet Tetra, the Tenet Flux Rifle, again, taking the junk-ass Flux Rifle and making it legitimate by making it a huge status proc weapon, and high slash, not mad at that shit at all. And I can't even remember the 4th one right now. I'm having a motherfucking moment. Goddamn, I'm gonna have to log into my fucking account just to fucking see this shit. I'm legit having a moment. So yeah, so then bringing out the Plinks. I'm optimistically keeping my fucking mind open. Yeah, I'm sure you heard that in the background. I'm optimistically keeping my mind open about the Plinks, because if they can make the Psychron way better, and they can make the Detron way fucking better, the Plinks is such a joke of a fucking weapon. Here, we don't need that. The Plinks is such a joke of a fucking weapon that, honestly, I am totally not upset with this being the choice weapon to come out. Wasn't intending on opening this. I don't know why I'm having a moment remembering this.
Welcome, friends.
Welcome, friends. Thank you, Darvo, you thieving son of a bitch. Equipment. I know somebody's going, dude, you're an idiot. What the hell? I'm gonna feel like such a retard. Oh yeah, it's a Tenet Envoy. Duh. Tenet Envoy. The new primary, the guided rocket launcher, or the laser guided grenade launcher. Very powerful AoE weapon, and the least nerfed of all the AoE weapons, so not really mad at that at all, right? Just not. So I'm very optimistic about the tenant planks. I really am. So that is definitely going to be something I'm going to be farming pretty quickly, because I want to see what that motherfucker's got. The tenant Ferox. Now, the base Ferox is already a pretty powerful weapon as it is. So the tenant Ferox, the only thing that I see is that it's much more crit based. It's still got a pretty high status percentage, but it's much more, it's like 34% base crit, so I'm totally fine with that. But the base Ferox is actually a pretty powerful fucking weapon, albeit an odd fire. It's like a charge and release kind of fire rate, kind of like the Opticore Vandal. But it's also a thrown spear gun, so it's a very interesting weapon choice and very, very niche. But I really want to see just how powerful you can make the fucking thing, because I liked the base Ferox, although you didn't see me play it much. I really did like the base Ferox, so I'm very curious about what the tenant Ferox is going to be, and that's one I can buy immediately, so I'm going to be happy about that. So next in the scale of things of what the hell. New augments, they just said that the final S through Z frames are coming and being worked on, blah, blah, blah. So didn't name specific, they named a couple specifics, but not enough for me to care about. The Grendel rework. That's the one I've been very interested in, because I've said it for a long time, and I even said it in my tier list that I think Grendel is a huge, huge, huge gimmick frame. And they did this whole thing of Pablo doing a video, because Pablo's got Rona right now and it sucks. But Pablo did a 10 fucking minute video showing all the changes with Grendel, and honestly, it might make Grendel very playable. It might make Grendel insanely playable. So yeah, that's going to be something to look at once I get done with all the other crap, then I'll dig into Grendel. So kind of as I thought, it's going to be probably next year before I even fuck with Grendel, because I've got so much other crap I'm going to be doing with 2 accounts. Good news, self-damage will not be releasing with Lewis Prey, nor will it probably be releasing with Deviri Paradox even. So yeah, that's coming. Just sometime next year. That's all they've basically said. So quality of life additions. There's going to be a new armor icon. They said in the HUD, but once you see it, if you go back and you watch, just go to play Warframe. YouTube, play Warframe. They said in the HUD. It's not in the HUD. It's on the health bar, or this health and armor bar. But now there's going to be an enemy armor. So like a little bar showing you a little heart with how much armor they have, or a little shield with how much armor they have before you actually armor strip. So that's a good thing. But it shows how much armor is left on the enemy. That's cool. I said they're also doing a soft launch, soft launch of elemental damage resistance icon to certain units. So like the Heika Masters and the Drak Masters and shit like that. Just a few units here and there. They're also increasing health and energy orbs. So health balls and energy orbs are increasing from a base 25 to a base 50. That's fucking badass. I'm okay with that. For those who have problems with mercy kills, this is a good and a bad thing. It's more good than bad. They are increasing the health pool of Eximus, because we're still cheesing the shit out of the Eximus. It is what it is. They're increasing the health pool to the Eximus to give them a larger health pool, but they're also increasing the window of mercy kills to Eximus, so that way those who are trying to crack Rivens, or those who are trying to do night waves that get, say you have to do so many, mercy kills, blah, 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 boom, you're done. Have a nice fucking day. There you go. That's going to be cool. And then they are changing Eximus spawn times to be more consistent, so the minimum spawn time will be 60 seconds once the Eximus trigger kicks. So, yeah, basically, once you start getting the higher level content, watch your fucking eyes, because you're going to get blinded by all the crazy horseshit you're doing if you're not running silence. So, Conclave changes. This is going to be quick. Fucking why? If you're a Conclave player, more power to you. But the PvC side of this game is basically dead. It's broken, it's buggy, it's fucked up. I don't even understand why don't they just take the Conclave out of the game? It is so fucking broken and not in a good way that why, so why? But it is what it is. The stuff that they did mention, they're disabled melee auto blocking, they're taking away shield gating, they're removing the Wolf Sledge, Telos, Boltes, Zenith, Tatsu Prime, so 2 lifesteal weapons, and the Staticore, Also stop the Atlas Rumblers from having a Petrify AoE, and etc. So broken stuff that has been making the Conclave more interesting. And more long-term stuff to come later after Deviri Paradox releases. But again, I still question the fact of, Warframe is not known for its PvP side of things, unlike Destiny and a few other games. So why not just take it the fuck out of the game? Seriously, there's just not enough player base that actually fuck with, doing that kind of stuff. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. So, next thing, and it's another quality of life thing, a quality of life change, semi-auto weapon changes. Basically put, they are changing the burst rate to be a lower controlled burst rate controlled by the player rather than just be some weird hit the triggers, make fucking you time as many times as you can kind of thing, try to get the best fire rate. Because you're not going to have to do that anymore because they're increasing the damage, the overall base damage to the burst fire. That sounds like a solid change to me. We shall see. They did another shorter video of Pablo doing basic reworks to Ureli. In my personal opinion, they don't look like anything game-changing to the frame at this time. Now here's where I got excited. The next Prime Warframe release. Now, they didn't say when. My best guess, because all they said was coming soon, but my best guess is going to be around Christmas time or at the next DevStream next year, which I think will be in January. So, but the next Prime frame is going to be Baruch Prime, and a lot of people question. I guarantee I haven't even watched very many videos. Like I've only seen like the very beginning of videos, and I realized what they were, and I stopped watching because I'm kind of one of those click happy people. I don't really look at titles. I'm not clickbaited like that. I just kind of like, oh yeah, that guy's online. Oh, he's talking about this now. I don't want to listen to that. So, but I'm sure there's a ton of people that are talking about the choice of secondary, and honestly, I'm hyped about it because I like it. The Akimbo Furus, the A-Furus secondary. So the Akimbo Furus, the dual Furus Prime. I'm excited about that. And then Baruch's normal melee, the Culverin Crane. That's going to be the next Prime released. I'm personally surprised that the A-Furus got the choice of being the secondary, but like I said, I'm happy about it because I truthfully like those little bastards. Just as long as they buff the stats enough to actually make it worth having a Prime, a Prime name to them. Hopefully that's the case. They usually do, so I'm okay with it. Give them a little bit more ammo pool, maybe increase their accuracy just a little bit, and give them better stats. As long as you do that, I'm going to be a happy, happy boy with that. Now, Baruch, I honestly wasn't thinking it was going to be Baruch. I really wasn't. But Baruch being the next one is badass because Baruch is already OP as fuck. So giving him increased anything is just going to be probably a win to that frame. So, just my thoughts. And he actually looks like a Prime frame and not a fucking hobo. Let's be honest, okay? The base Baruch looks like a homeless dude with like a shawl wrapped around him, okay? You can give him the man bun head. Sorry, I'm a bit under the weather still. So, crossplay. They're about to start doing for PlayStation, Nintendo Switch both. Subtle, unannounced on and off platform tests are about to really kick off and coming very, very soon. And we will be able to view the other platform profiles, but also apparently this has been a thing, especially more for Xbox players. Like you get a blessing on the relay from a PC player, but then or somebody messages you in a public area, and then when you go back to your ship, your message is gone or your blessing is gone. Apparently they're going to be fixing that with Lewis Prey, so that's cool. Deviri Paradox. They said that it's definitely going to be next year, but will most likely be. My guess is they're going to be announcing its release date at the next DevStream of next year, or the first DevStream of next year. The devs did warn that this is going to be immensely different from every other open world, which is why there has been such a massive delay. So it is what it is. Next Prime Resurgence kicks off December 1st, and that's going to be Ivara and Oberon Primes. So, yeah, anybody looking for Ivara for the Queen of Nuking headshots, there you go. Oberon's kind of meh, whatever. And now, the final thing is supporter packs. This I find interesting because it's literally the same thing, you just do it different ways. Supporter packs are going to be put into the market of the game, plus left on the webpage. So you can now buy the supporter packs with Plat, instead of having to go to their webpage and just buy the supporter packs that way. So that's all fine and dandy, but you still got to go get plat. So why not just keep it in that? I don't know. It's going to be under like a Lewis Prey thing, so it is what it is. It's whatever. So that's kind of my breakdown of the Lewis Prey upcoming stuffs. Truthfully, I think this is a very, very interesting deal. I think the survivals are a pretty cool idea, especially adding Thrax and adding the ability of failure into the mission. You guys know that I love the ability of failure. I love the challenge of the ability of failure. I build my frames for the ability of failure, for Christ's sake. So, that being said, I think that's cool. I think the new Tenet weapons are very interesting. The other stuff, the Grendel rework and the new Prime release, those are the two big ones that I'm interested in, because I love the idea of Grendel. Okay, like everybody, there's been a few people question me privately, like, hey, why the fuck do you hate Grendel so much? I don't hate Grendel. I hate his kit. I hate the way he functions, because in my opinion, he's not a fluid frame to play. Like, that's why Helminth was put into the system to begin with, was because kits weren't really functioning well with all of their parts. Well, in my opinion, there's a lot of Grendel that just doesn't work. Like, he's got one good ability, right? He's got one good ability that it's really fucking good, but he's got one good ability, and then the rest just kind of seems like an afterthought. And with what they showed, it looks like there's so much that's been changed to where nothing looks like an afterthought now for the most part. I want to see it face to face. I want to see that it's actually realistic, and once that's the case, maybe Grendel can actually be something I can move up my fucking list and call less of a gimmick and actually make him a higher tiered frame. I don't know. Probably it's gonna be a little bit before I even mess with him, but so it'll probably be, like I said, next year, because I'm gonna be dicking around with all sorts of other stuff, because there's a lot of shit coming. So yeah. So that's been my quick look at DevStream 166. If you want to go watch the whole thing, I will put a link down to it below in the description, and you guys can view it for yourselves, and hopefully you're as excited about it as I am. I always try to stay cautiously optimistic, because with frames like Varuna, she looks busted as fuck, right? Like, she looks like she has the ability to be busted as fuck. But then again, if she could be out for 30 hours like Geyer and then get nerfed like a motherfucker and no longer be busted as fuck. So we'll find out, right? We will definitely find out, and I'm fine with that either way. So as it goes, this is where we are. So folks, thanks very much for watching. As always, we'll catch you in the next one, all right?